Good evening, members of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is doing well. For those that tune in on Restream, YouTube, Facebook, uh, my Sherwood TikToks are ABCS895, and those who follow the other groups that allow me to share in their groups. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody is doing well. Tonight we are talking about possessions and spiritual bondage. That's what's the topic here tonight on Spiritual Encrypted and Encounters, brothers and sisters. Let me share this out real quick. How you doing, brother Ernesto Hernandez? ¿Cómo estás? How you doing tonight? Hope you're doing great. How you doing, bro? Okay, let me try to invite cousin Jesse in. There we go. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, after showing last night's live, man, it's like it's hard to top it up for those that were here yesterday. That was able to witness that video. we captured on camera. You got a treat yesterday because that was a pretty awesome capture that was caught on. It was caught on my camera from the my cameras from the outside of my home. It was a pretty good capture. For those that tune in to Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Yesterday, you were able to witness what we captured, and for those that didn't tune in, well, you missed out. It's still pretty crazy what we captured there. No, it's not crazy to me because I've dealt with the balance, brother and sisters, on all my life. I've witnessed things, so it's nothing new to me. It's like I'm not surprised. Doesn't matter what manifestation those things take. But I know what they're capable of. I know what they what they can do spiritually. That's why it's important to maintain a heavenly love foundation. Watch what path we're on. Uh, can leave no spiritual openings because they're just waiting. They're just waiting to attack. And tonight we're talking about possessions and spiritual bondage, which I see a lot of that, brother and sisters, here on on the shows. I see it in other people's shows. I see it in the streets. The spiritual bondage. The people that are being spiritually, how should I say, controlled by these unseen forces. Uh, how you doing, brother Juan Avila? Okay, we got Texas Learn Me. Yeah, the spiritual warfare is very real, brothers and sisters. I'm just here to tell you, man. I can capture things during the day, at nighttime. Uh, you can tell when somebody has a negative attachment on them just by the way they act, their demeanor, the things they say. You could tell when they have a spiritual attachment, and of course, I've dealt with people that have been possessed. I've dealt with people that have had no control of the body because something else has control of their body, in which that right there is it could be a temporary possession where something could have possession of the person for about a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and it varies, right? Depends what kind of opening that they have. That whatever's there can have even a stronger stronghold over that individual. I'm waiting for cousin Jesse to come on. He hasn't come on, so I don't know what's going on. Told me he was going to be ready. We're 11:16, and he's not here. So I'm gonna go solo. I'll send him the link. I don't know what happened. There we go. How you doing, Sister Monica? Hope you're doing great tonight. I have several stories for y'all of possessions, stories of spiritual bondage. I've witnessed a lot of things. That's one thing. Uh, Fighting spiritually all your life, that when somebody is going through something spiritually, or they being spiritually attacked. Uh, you can tell spiritually.
Hello.
How you doing? So we got okay, we got one.
Hey, MMA, how you doing? Linda, how you doing? Learning, how you doing? Juan Avila, ¿cómo estás? Monica, welcome in. August, welcome in. How was y'all's day today? I hope everybody had a great day and were blessed. Me, I got up, did some yard work, and then I went and scouted the potential client. But if it rains, I can't do it. See how I remembered it was you, real MMA.
Okay, I'm back here. I want to be taking care of business. Also, cousin, taking care of business. Get a certain individuals coming in here with pretending to be somebody that they ain't. Which they're coming from other camps just to infiltrate. So I just found the one right now.
Yeah, I know. I saw who it was. I got the memo. I got the memo. Duendito
So
files. Duendito files.
yeah, so you missed a great show yesterday, Primo. Had a
Nice.
video that I shared. I don't know if you tuned it in, but I don't want to share it back again. Not tonight because I'm going to talk about possession, spiritual bondage. But yeah, it was a video that I caught in front of my house
Oh
with me and
wow.
my brother. Some activity that happened.
Oh wow.
So you missed out on that one yesterday. I know you were tired and all, but I started live around 12:30. So
Dude, at
most of the
12:30,
people that are
dude.
here witnessed it yesterday. The video that I downloaded from in front of my home.
Oh
A
man.
lot of activity.
At that hour, man, me estaba pegando por los talones, primo, ya. I was tired, man. I ain't worked like that in a long time, man. And yeah, I was beat. As soon as I took a shower, man, I laid down and I was out till like 6 o'clock this morning. I did see a video that you posted, but I really
Was it?
couldn't make. I did see a video that you posted about something trying to get onto somebody, man. Something that was trying to. I can't say the word, but you know what I'm saying. Um, Something that was trying to bond with somebody, a spiritual bonding. You said on the video, it was just too blurry. I couldn't see it, man. My eyes are
Oh,
really getting red.
uh, I'm sorry you couldn't
You said
see it, man.
something about.
Everybody else seen it. Everybody that was viewing last night was able to see what was in there. I mean, I
You see
could
that?
try to show it again, but it would take away from what
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
talking about,
man.
possession,
I
spiritual bondage.
understand. Man. I understand. Like I said, if I would have come online, man, I would have fell asleep during the live, man. I
Yeah,
was that
yeah.
tired. I hate it when I don't show up, man,
I think
because
I'm
I
gonna
know
still
I'm
have
not
it
gonna
there,
live.
man. Maybe I can share before we continue, or I
No,
can
no,
share it
man.
later.
No, we could
Share
do
it
it
later
tomorrow.
on, because it's dealing with this, man. Um, when people sometimes hear voices and they hear whispers, and you think maybe it's your sister or your mother or your father or a loved one, right? That's not here anymore. That's in the spirit. It necessarily might not be that. It could be this DDN that I speak of. Succubus, incubuses can do that. That they'll make you think it's something because they want you to believe. If they can get you to believe, then they can do the works that they do, right? Uh, a succubus, you know what they do to men. They drain their spiritual energy, and that's what they do. So they'll pretend to be anybody, actually, just to try to drain energy. Uh, well, that's the DDN succubus. They all fall in the same category. They all have those capabilities to do that, to manifest, shapeshift, whisper in your ear, try to control your like a bondage. Uh, Tries to the point of attack for a succubus, an incubus would be your senses. If it can enter your senses because of openings you might have, then that's where it's going to enter, to enter your body, or to drain your energy, because that's what it wants, is drain your spiritual energy. And of
You,
course, uh, many have gotten violated a different way by the succubus and incubus, which would be through the privates. You know, that's how they attack.
it's funny you're talking about that, man. Earlier today, I was relaxing in my room, and my stepmom was here in the living room. And clear as day, man, I heard her call me twice. So I came out and asked her if she had called me, and she said no. I didn't answer.
I
I
mean,
just got
it's,
her.
it's possible that she might could have called you, not knowing, but something could have entered her, and she could have called your name. I think there was a time that when she walked into your room one day and she said something, but she was acting a little bit strange. You know,
Yeah.
it's possible that if, especially as the elderly, they're always taking naps. Because I would witness it was my mother-in-law and father-in-law. I mean, my mother-in-law, not mother-in-law, my godfather and godmother, where that guy changed. It was a completely different person as he got older. I could see sometimes his eyes roll back white, and there's so many things that can make that happen. When we look at diabetes, diabetes can do that. Just things, certain symptoms that we might have that might cause some of the things that happen to us. But when you see him talking to nobody because there's nothing there, you can't see it because you're not open up spiritually at the time. You can't see what they're talking to, but they're talking to something, because maybe spiritually, as they're elderly, they're closer to their last step in life, closer to finish their story here in this world. So they're closer in spirit, and in which they're able to see other things that are manifesting to them in spirit. Something that we will not understand till we get to that point of when it's our time to cross over. I witnessed it with my godfather. He was a World War II veteran, very hardcore. He's the one that taught me there's no such thing as I can't, because you can.
Hey man, didn't your godfather live across the street from Grandpa Joe's house?
Well, there was another one, but the godfather lived right across us,
Oh,
our
okay,
home. There was a
okay.
greenhouse. Remember that there was a greenhouse in front of us.
Yeah, I
He lived
remember.
there. That's where my godfather lived. He lived in that house. With, yeah, It was a good guy.
Yeah, my godfather was my uncle's godfather. We had the same godparents. Me and my uncle Lupe.
Yeah, I seen him. I started cutting grass when I was like 5 years old at his yard. I remember when I went to his yard, he was like, "What is this little thing going to do? How's he going to move the lawnmower?" And the lawnmowers back in the day,
Yep.
they were a lot heavier than they are now. A lot heavier. So there it was, man, pushing. It would take me almost all day to cut the grass because I was skinny. But as I grew, I was able to push it even more and more, and I became the person who cut the grass, trim the trees. I was like their lawnmower person. Uh, but he's the one that showed me how to operate the lawnmower. Uh, I think he even had one of those things that you swing.
A
What do you
sigh,
call it?
a sickle, a sigh.
Yeah, a sickle. Yeah, but he's the one that taught me everything, man.
That was
I
telling my
mean,
nephew just the other day, man. I'm still making money on the skills that my grandfather taught me when I was 5.
yeah. So I remember how he was as a person. Um, I was telling me, like his mentality was like still in the military, and he would talk to me like if I was one of his soldiers, you know. And I would listen to him. I wouldn't disrespect him or nothing like that because he he probably would hit me. That's how hardcore he was. Toughen up. You know, he would probably say things like, "You can't feel sorry for yourself. You're gonna gotta suck it up and move on forward." Or if they knock you down, get back up. But that's not what we were taught, right? What we were taught is in which there could be a spiritual opening when you're taught to defend yourself and fight. Well, what dwells in that? That's a spiritual opening, right? Anger, hatred, vengeance. Was
Revenge.
it you get in a fight and you're like, I'm gonna get them back next time, maybe more. That's the unseen forces. That's what they focus on. That's what they target. If you have that, then you have a spiritual opening. Uh, Maybe what you're thinking might not even be you. It might be something else that's attached itself to you. It's got some kind of control. Might put images in your head. Might speak to you as in disembodied voice. Say something to you. When you're young, you don't know you don't know what you're supposed to say. Like hearing a disembodied voice, you get a bad image of something happening, or you doing something to somebody. You don't know you're supposed to say a type and rebuke the images or the disembodied voices in Jesus Christ's name, right? Because all those things are doing is trying to find an opening to attach itself to you or possibly possess, where they put you in a situation where you might get mad and in a fight. Next thing you just lose it, and anything can happen at that given time. What do you think about that, cousin Jesse?
I've been there, man. I've been there. When I got into that bar fight, man, then I got jumped by those 7 guys, man. After they broke a beer bottle on my head and I saw my blood, dude, I just saw red, blacked out. When I woke up, there were 7 bodies on the ground and I was being handcuffed by a cop. So yeah, I know exactly what that is, man.
Um, my other godfather and godmother, they lived. He was a Marine. I think he was in World War II also. He was a Marine, ex-Marine. I don't know if he retired or was just disabled vet. But I remember him going cutting his grass also. And one day, because his wife was blind, Doña Petra, she was blind. The only thing she could do is spill my face. I think I was like 13 years old, cutting the grass. And then, but I was always a pretty tall kid, and 13 or 14, when I would go cut the grass, and he was crying out one day when I went over there to, and I said, "What's the matter?" And it's like, because they were old already, like in their 80s, and they're like, "No, some men, muchachos came. They want me to sign this piece of paper." He had a piece of paper, and I was reading it, where they wanted him to sell his property and his home at a very cheap price to Olga Contreras,
Oh wow.
right? So he was crying, and he was like, "What are we going to do? They come and try to break into our home. Uh, they threaten us if we don't sign it, that they're going to come and do this and this to us." And I seen Doña Petra crying, and it got me pissed off, man. You know, 13, 14 got me mad. Made my blood boil. So one day, this has been happening for about a month. One day I show up on a Saturday to cut their grass because I would go cut the grass like once a week or twice a week. And I didn't want them to pay too much money to me, right? So twice a week. So even though it was a little bit bigger, to save them money because you know not really charging that much. I was cutting the grass and I seen those guys. He even had a chain on his gate, so no, they wouldn't come in. They jumped the fence, and there was three of them, and they cornered him against the wall of his home on the side of where he had his garage, and they were like, "Where's the piece of paper? And you better sign it right now, or else." Blah blah blah. And I seen him, and he had it in his pocket, pulled out of his pocket, and I told the guys, that they were all from, I believe they were all from Mexico. I told them to leave them alone, and they told me to stay out of it. It didn't pertain to me. They say, "Stay out of it, kid." That's what they told me because they were like up there in age, like 18, 19 or older. So I went into his shed, grabbed the pick handle. That's it, man. The La Fuente blood, man, DLF. Uh, I was in a whole different state, man. I went out there because I'd already warned them, and I wasn't talking no more. I just handled business. I knocked the hell out of two of them, and they took off running, crying and stuff because I hit them so hard with a pick handle. And the other one, he's like that I was nobody, that I needed a pick handle to fight. So I dropped the pick handle and I beat him up with my fist in front in front of my padrino. And my padrino was cheering me on. He was an old man.
Dale la madre, dale la
I
madre.
cheer him on. I beat the crap out of him. Sorry, but that's the truth. I beat the crap out of him, and he took off running, jumped over the fence, and that was the last time they seen him. Uh, so I didn't tell my mother nothing of what I had done. I was keeping it to myself, but they told her what I did. They were just put it this way, that they were calling me a hero. My Which he's a hero because he was a World War II vet. But they were calling me a hero because I beat three guys. So they were calling me a hero. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it. What I did, I had to justify their honor, right? Because that was
They,
my
de-
godmother, godfather. I had to justify their honor,
they deserve what they got, man.
and I didn't feel bad about it. But now that I'm older, I know that you have to be careful because if you're angry too much, that could be a spiritual opening. Then I just thought, I just reacted to the situation like first to nature, reacted to it. No, No more talking, no nothing. Just handle the situation. All I'm saying is, I think what happened is their son came from another uh, city and picked them up and took them with them because he knew that they were in danger there. Because I mean, they were literally getting threatened that they didn't sign that piece of paper that they were going to kill him. You know, that's what they were
So
saying to him. They were elderly.
isn't, isn't that the lot that Olga built all those rooms on?
No, there was the lot in between. There was a house there that was their house. The other thing was to the right, right beside it. She always wanted that space, that area, you know. But the little town, I'm more sure they heard what I did, so I could have been in trouble, because if you go against the people within the city that you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Yeah, there could have been trouble towards me, in which things did happen, but I'm still here.
The corruption runs deep in that town. I'll be right back.
I'm just saying that anger, right, is a spiritual opening. Yeah, there was this woman. We used to cut a lot of mow a lot of lawns, right? And there was this woman. She was she was white, and she had a parrot that would speak. His name was Stupid, but he knew how to talk. He knew how to bark like a dog and stuff like that. We would go cut her grass. She was like a fortune card reader or a psychic of some sort because she had all those tarot cards and stuff like that. So since I was able to see, I could see when the spirits would enter her. A lot of psychics, mediums, they leave themselves open to that, right? So I will see when the spirit will enter and she will act different. Sometimes the spirit of a little girl will go into her, start acting like a little girl. Sometimes the spirit of a little boy will go in her. She would start acting like a little boy. And I will see the other spirits, unclean spirits, enter her sometimes. And she would act like she was demonized. She had I believe, like a tattoo of a star on her forehead or something like that.
No crap.
Um, but I could see when the unclean spirits would enter her and she would act different. The way she was looking at me, the facial gesture she would make towards me, I could tell she had an unclean spirit in her. Um, but she passed away. Um, I'm just giving examples of people that could be spiritually bonded. They could have, when somebody opens up to that, whether it's a Ouija board, fortune card reading, reading the little sphere, trying to connect with the spirits, they're opening themselves to any spirit, even the unclean ones, and that can leave a negative residue in them, and it can affect them. Imagine this: imagine somebody being something like that, and they're fine and dandy, but when they go to sleep, they become possessed by the unclean spirits because they have the doors wide open to that, right? Because of what they do. Then at nighttime, they're a whole different person. They're acting like they're possessed, but it's because of the opening that they're allowing. I'm more sure cousin Jesse's seen this with some of the people of paleros you work with, how their demeanor would change, where it wasn't them,
No,
where it's like something had uh, taken over the body, and they would act very mean because that's what they are. You know, they're unclean spirits. They have a lot of hatred, and they want to, how should I say, plant a negative seed to affect you for the rest of your life. Uh, what do you think about that, cousin?
well, you're all right, man. I've seen that because of the rituals that ceremonies that I would go to with this guy. And yeah, if somebody got possessed, you could tell they did because they wouldn't be them, and they would act different, real different, and then they'd go around trying to do stuff to people. And that guy would always just like go and touch him in the forehead and say some magic African words, and that would take the spirit out of them. That's why when we went, he would always make sure that I would have ashes all on my face and the white cross on my forehead. He would put a white cross on my forehead and cover me in ash from my head all the way down to my neck. And I asked him what that was for, and he would say so that I wouldn't get possessed. So yeah, I've seen that, man. I've seen that.
You
That
see a lot
muerto.
of that with the elderly brothers and sisters, elderly that are in the nursing homes, in the hospitals, but in nursing homes. Uh, I think there was a movie. Wasn't one of the Exorcist movie dealing with a nursing home or hospital where
And
she's crawling on the ceiling? Well,
I'm,
in the essence of a way, the elderly, you know, when they have dementia, it seems like that, like if they're possessed, because they don't know what they do. It's
on
kind of
the
like
toilet.
the spirit, the body is there, but it's an empty void. So something can go into the body to take control of the vessel. And sometimes pharmakia has to do a lot with that. Medicines that they give them is it leaves a spiritual opening.
That metformin, man. That metformin, it causes dementia, man.
The metformin.
Yeah, it causes dementia or Alzheimer's, but it causes one of them. And my dad had both dementia and Alzheimer's.
How long was he on the medicines for?
Ooh, a long time. You know, I think since he was in his early 40s, all the way up to when he died. But yeah, he didn't know who he was. He would ask us, "What's my name?" And then he was a what they call a runner. He would find ways to break out of the house and take off, and then he'd get lost. They would see him walking, I don't know where, and then the cops would bring him home. When they would find him, they would bring him home because he would take off walking. And the bad thing about that is that he was legally blind. He really couldn't see, but nothing but shadows. He couldn't see, and he would take off crossing streets and whatnot, man. So what I did is, I quit doing what I was doing, and I became totally and 100% his guardian angel, man. If he took off, I would walk down the street behind him, and he would turn around and tell me, "Leave me by myself. I want to be alone." So he take off walking, and I just start doing the ninja thing, man, behind cars, behind trees, behind bushes, on different sides of the street. And I knew when he would get the disease because he would stop, scratch his head, and then look around. And just by the look on his face, I could tell he's completely lost and didn't know where he was. Then I would play it up like I was walking down the street and say, "Hey." And then he would like look at me and I go, "What's up, Dad?" He goes, "Hey, mijo." I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I don't know." I go, "Where are you at?" He goes, "I don't know." I go, "Let's go home." He goes, "Okay." Then I would take him back home. But you could tell when the disease would hit him, man, because he would get this look on his face like he didn't know where he was or who he was. And he would just stand there scratching his head, man. But this was an everyday thing, man. I had to always be on him, always be on him because he was like a totally different person, man. He would get violent. One time he pushed my little sister and my mom, and my little sister hit the wall and her glasses fell off, and I was really angry, man. Yeah, he was hitting, but yeah,
So did you witness like possession?
yeah, yeah. It was a possession, dude, because he wouldn't recognize anybody, man, and just get totally violent and fight. I mean, I put it to you like this: one time I was sitting at the table eating, and the next thing you know, he was just hitting me, man. I mean, really hitting me with punches and kicks while I was sitting there eating. He was talking to me like he didn't know me. He was cursing at me, man. And dude, I had to get up and I grabbed him and I kind of like flipped him over a little bit to where he landed on his butt. And then he came to he came to himself. He goes, "Vas a ver cuando me pare." I said, "Oh, you gonna wait for me to you gonna wait want me to wait for you to stand up?" Every time he get on his hands and knees, man, I just push him forward to the other side. I rolled him all the way to his room, and then I locked the door, and he got mad. But yeah, it was like he didn't know you, man. He didn't know who you were, and he was just. I remember he got Joe one time, pushed him up against the refrigerator, and just started beating the hell out of him, man. So yeah, that wasn't my daddy, man. That wasn't him, dude. He wasn't like that. But
Did he ever talk a different language that you didn't understand?
no, cousin. But I used to grow my beard all the way down to like about right here. You see how it doesn't grow anymore? It's because he yanked it off my face, man. He got mad at me, man, grabbed me by my beard and just yanked it. His hand was full of nothing but hair. I was bleeding from up here when he yanked my
Wow,
hair out. Man. Yeah.
he yanked it hard.
He yanked it off, man. He yanked my beard off, man. Because I used to grow like a Fu Manchu, and he yanked it off, and it hasn't grown since. Right here, man, this is about a year worth of growth. It should be somewhere down here, but it don't grow no more.
It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I remember one time he kicked the fence down, man. He kicked the fence down on the side of the house to get out and run in the streets, man.
How
He was a
old was
kid. My dad was 70, 78 when he passed.
Picture Lermy says it does sound like possession.
It was a possession, man, because you could see in his face it wasn't him
And he would say hurtful things to you, cousin,
all the time, man.
because whatever it was trying to find an opening to attack you.
I heard him the other day, man. Dude, calling me saying what he always said to me, man. I'm gonna tell you what you always used to say to me. Chinga tu madre, Jesús. He would always tell me that, man. I was cooking the other day. I heard him say that while I was cooking, man. I heard him clearly. I'll tell you what, Learning, for being 79 years old, 78 years old, my dad still had a lot of snapping and punches, man. When he hit you, you knew you were hit.
That's crazy, man.
Yep, yep. It was a battle, man, with that man. It was a battle, man. But I believe in the Western philosophy, man, that says that when you save somebody's life, you're responsible for that life until the person passes away. I saved him when he hung himself, man. So I was responsible for him until he passed.
Yeah, because I remember Don Pedro, the one that was he was in the army. It was a World War II vet. where he changed, his eyes changed, like turned white, man, like literally white, and he's talking to me. I can understand because he was already elderly, and he was more of mumbling, and I couldn't understand what he was saying, but his eyes were white, and he was looking at me, but I couldn't understand what he was saying, but his eyes were just white. And she was like, "No, leave him alone. I have him. I got him." Es que, she would say it's almost his time, you know. But his eyes would turn roll back white, and it'd be talking to me. Sometimes, like his mouth, you see like saliva and stuff coming out, you know.
Welcome, Lawrence.
But he was a World War II vet, so I'm thinking he was exposed to chemicals and stuff like that. So he could have had side effects for by whatever chemicals were used on him when he was in the front lines. How you doing, Lawrence?
Hello, Claire Porter. How you doing?
Amen. Yeah, I've seen some weird activity like that. G- I- some stories of possession of, or people that have. To me, a possession is when something is within a person and they tell you something that only you know. It's because it's there possessing that individual to relay a message to you. You know, and I've had a lot of experiences like that. One of them I spoke about it before, where it was a Dollar General. Everything was 70% off. So I stopped there to see if I could find, toys for my son to get him cheap, So I'm there looking through the boxes they got on the ground. As I'm looking, this is like in, oh man, I say like 2003, somewhere around there, 2002. And I'm looking at or possibly even sooner than that. No, no, 2002, 2003. So I'm looking at the boxes and I hear a woman say, uh, "You don't know more than I do." Right. So I turn around and I see a woman behind me, but she's facing the other way. And I'm thinking, I think at the time they had those phones with the earpieces. So I'm thinking she's talking on the phone. So I turn around and I'm looking at the boxes, and then I hear her say again, "You don't know more than I do." And when I turn around, this time she is facing me, and she's right in front of me, looking at me. And I'm like, "Ma'am, I don't know." I was gonna say, "I don't know who you are." I said, "I don't know," and she told me, "You shut up." She said, "I've been here on this earth for a very long time." And she looked at me, and gave me like a little, what do you call it, crazy smile. And she told me, "You need to pay attention to me. I've been here on this earth for a very, very long time. You can learn something from me." And I said, "Ma'am, you probably are older than me and been around, but I'm living my life, raising my son, and all this." And then she told me again to shut up. So she's looking at me. She tells me there was something that when she told me this. Let me see if I can remember what she told me. That's when I found out that there was something wrong with her. She said she challenged me, and this is what she said: the demons that were in her brother and sisters looked at me, and she said, "Look me straight in the eyes." Guess what she said, cousin, to me? Were the demons?
Oh,
As she's looking straight at me, she's just what she said: "Rebuke me, rebuke me, rebuke me."
wow.
They're telling me to rebuke them, and I'm here in the sidelines looking. And I said, the demons see a spiritual opening in me because they're telling me to rebuke them because they want me to rebuke them they want me to say, I type on a rebuke you because I see that I have an opening. And when I do that, then there's going to be opening they use to spiritually attack me. So I look at when they're saying this, and I said, no, I'm going to do something better for you. That's what I told her and the demons that was within her. I said, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. When I started saying the Our Father, brother, the Our Father, the deliverance prayer, the demons left, and guess what happened? Her whole body fell to the ground. Splat.
Hi, my
Right on
goodness.
the, just all her body, her vessel just dropped to the ground. She's on the ground, and I'm looking down, and I'm still praying because just in case the demons that were in her come back, I'm still praying. And then she grabs me from the leg, from my pant legs. She picks herself up a little bit. She grabs me from my wrist. She kisses my hand and she says, "Thank you. Thank you for freeing me from the bondage, the possession of the demons that were in me."
Wow.
So I let her get up and I asked her, uh, what was the matter? How did she get possessed? She told me that her her mother and her only sister died in a car accident. She had died. They died in a car accident, and she denounced God. As
Oh,
soon
wow.
as she denounced God, she got possessed immediately. Like I said, these DDN unclean spirits, they're waiting for the right opportunity. So she denounced God and she got possessed. She was crying, and I was still praying within myself because tear ducts they can transfer. So she's continuing with her story because I want to find out what happened. And she said that she got possessed. She was living in the alleys, eating trash from dumpsters, from the eating food from the dumpsters. And she said that prostitution and all kinds of things. She was just crying. And I told her to get up, that we were going to pray, that she was going to ask God for forgiveness and she was going to repent for her sins, and that's what she did. She asked God for forgiveness, repented for her sins, and then we prayed for the Heavenly Father to protect her, to guide her, and for those demons that had uh, taken over her vessel, for them not to be able to come back. We prayed against all that. Then that's when I left the church. She was telling me that I was a saint, because she said that she'd been like that for about a year. She said that you could see everything happening around her, but she had no control over her body, so she couldn't say nothing. And she said that when she seen me, it's kind of like she freaked out when I start saying the prayer of the Our Father. It's kind of like she said that I knew that there was something in her. So she was crying and she thanked me for uh, I guess getting rid of the demons that were within her, casting out the demons that had control over her. This happened in Killeen, Texas.
Oh, wow.
Who we got? Sister Monica, the mob. She was an African woman. Um, sometimes people don't know. People don't know when you start listening to all these little groups out here that our government is trying to put in place, trying to make you think that the sins is okay, that being in the wrong is okay, going against the Heavenly Father is okay, not believing in Jesus Christ is okay. That's what they want you to do. so they can have a stronger stronghold over you. I guess I can continue with another story, uh, if y'all like, or let cousin Jesse share a story with y'all. I believe he had an encounter or something similar to that. I believe of I believe he shared an encounter, something dealing with somebody asking for money or something.
Yeah, yeah,
And
man.
I'll let him share that one with
I
y'all.
went to I went to the corner store from here, man, and there was a colored guy out there, man, an African American dude, and you could tell that he's homeless, man. So he asked me for change. I said, "Yeah, man, wait till I come out." So I went in the store and bought what I was gonna buy, and came back out and headed to the truck, and he was standing there. So I put what I had in the truck. I came back, and he asked me for change, so I gave him about 85 cents that I had left over. And he looked at him when I gave it to him because I put it in his hand. I said, "God bless you." And then he looked at the change. He looked at me and he gave it back to me. He had this look like my money stank. So I said, "Oh, the change wasn't enough, man." So I put my change in my pocket. I went in my wallet and grabbed a few bucks. I gave him a few bucks and I blessed him again and said, "God bless you." Then he grabbed my money like this and he went like that to give it back to me. I said, "Nah, man, go ahead and keep it." And he walked out the street like this with the money like that, like it smelled real bad. But I'm thinking that he probably had something bonded to him because after I blessed him is when he made that face, man, like my money stank, and that he told me to take it back, and I said, "Nah, man, it's yours now. I done blessed you for it." And he went across the street with the money like that out away from him. I saw him not too long ago, man, and he recognized me, man, and he didn't even bother asking me for money, dude. Because I guess he knew I was probably gonna bless him again. Because whenever I give anybody money, man, I tell them God bless you. So yeah, he had something on him, man.
Uh, So he didn't really say nothing to you or speak to you about anything else.
No, he just gave me a dirty look. He gave me a dirty look like I smelled bad or something, man. But that kind of offended me because you could smell this guy, and he was acting like I'm the one that stank. And then there was the time that I got possessed when I was in church, and the more they prayed, the angrier I got, man. I heard a little voice in my head telling me to rip my mentor apart. He said, "Just tear him limb from limb." And the more they prayed and the more they sang, the angrier this thing was getting. And I was sitting there for an hour, man, praying,
Uh,
telling it to get out of my vessel. And finally, I got up and was walking out when the wife of my mentor told me where I was going. And I told her, "Go ahead."
uh, I believe you said something that had happened before all that happened to you with
Yeah,
with
yeah, I was driving my brother around, man, and I had told him I had a meeting to go to. And he was trying to make me late, man. It was like he was going out of his way to take up all my time. There was like 30 minutes left before I had to go to the meeting that I had to, the prayer meeting. And this guy had me running around, man. So finally, I let him out. But when he got in my truck, I told him when I was waiting for him to get dressed, I was like, "Hey, man, there's something on you, and it's really, really negative and evil, and you need to get it off of you, man, because I can feel it." Well, I got angry with him for taking up my time. I guess that's a spiritual opening that it used to get at me.
anger.
Because I saw my brother get off the truck, but I didn't notice that that thing wasn't on him no more. So it was obviously in my truck. So when I got to church, that they were praying and singing, it got really aggravated, man, and he really wanted me to get up and attack this man. The good thing is that I'm not a very weak-minded individual, and I hate it when anybody tells me what to do. So I just sat there and prayed for it to get out of my vessel, and it wasn't coming, and it wasn't coming. So finally, after an hour of being there, I got up and started to walk out. And my mentor's wife was at the door, and she's like, "What happened?" I go, "I'm going home." She goes, "Why?" And I told her I have something on me, and it's in me, and it's trying to make me cause a scene here and hurt people. So I'm going home. And she's like, "Well, you're at the right place. We can pray and get it out of you." I go, "Yeah, that's not the problem." I go, "The problem is the way this thing is telling me to do. What if you take it out of me and it goes into somebody else that can't control themselves like I can? And then there's going to be a tragedy here at this church." So I said, "No, I'll just take it with me." And I got in my truck, man, and I was driving, and my head was moving forward, and it was telling me to show my fangs, which I ain't even got no teeth, man. I don't know what the hell it was thinking. So I called my mom and I told her, "Hey, I'm on my way home. I need you to get the holy water and leave it out there on the porch and go back in the house." So I got home. I grabbed the holy water. I sprayed it on me in the cross everywhere, and I told her that it wasn't welcome in my vessel for it to leave my vessel, that it couldn't be in my yard and not on my porch for it to leave. So when I walked in the door, when I was closing it, I could hear something laughing in the front yard. But I got rid of it. But like I said, I've never been a weak-minded individual, man. So yeah, there you go, cousin. Back to you.
So, sounds like something in the background. I don't know. I'm hearing like a little noise.
Is it a clicking sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my ceiling fan, man. Let me turn it
Oh,
off.
okay, okay. Oh, that's fine. No, leave it on, cause
Hold on. Look, let me see if they work. Aha! Let's see if they work, man.
oh, you bought some.
No, I have some. They just weren't charged. Hold on a minute, cousin.
There you go. Yeah.
Hold on a minute, cousin. Still tearing.
Oh man. Whew. I can name you several encounters that I've had dealing with possessions and stuff like that. Uh, there was one where my cousin, he had gone out. He went drinking, I guess, or whatever he was on. I don't know. I heard when they drop him off. I seen when they dropped him off because the car was in front of the house, and he was walking like real slow, and he had his hand behind his back, and he was acting weird. I could see like a glare in his eye, like a yellow glare, and he had his knife out, the switchblade, and he was walking towards me like he's gonna use it on me. And I said, "Cousin, I love you." And I said, "Cousin, I love you." He's like, "Hey, what's up, cuz?" The next thing you know, it entered him back again, and he starts coming at me like he's gonna do something, and he's just getting close to me. I said, "God bless you, cousin." Hey, what's up, cousin? And whatever was there took off. But the opening was, I guess he was drinking or whatever what he was doing. He had the opening, but I was able to get rid of the unclean spirit that was in him because it was using him to come up against me spiritually. Well, In this case, it was physically because he did have an open knife in his hand, switchblade, that he was going to try to use on me. But I was able to get rid of it using a Heavenly Love Foundation. Yeah, I could hear like some kind of echo. I don't know. I don't know if
I'm
it's a
still trying to get you to clear.
it probably is. My cousin don't even remember what happened. He don't
Yeah,
even
it's,
remember what happened.
these things ain't working.
That's
They're
all right, cousin.
100%. They say it's 100% charged, but it's not. It says it's paired up, but it's not. Can't believe that, man. Whoa. I tried, cousin, but it didn't work.
Normally, when somebody has something in them, an unclean spirit, is because the unclean spirit that's in the individual, or should I say, the demon, unclean spirit, whatever you want to call it, is going to say something to you that only you know, because it's not identifying itself to you of what it is. So it's going to say something to you that you can relate to, that you know of, something of your past. It's going to say something, and when it says it, you're going to know that that individual that's in front of you is being overtaken by something, because there's no way that individual knows something that only you know. So when that happens, that's when you go into prayer or you type binary rebuke in Jesus Christ's name and send it away, because it's identifying itself to you through that individual.
Nada. Claire Porter wants you to pray for her, cousin. How you doing, Mr. Anderson? Welcome.
I don't even know if that's a girl. That might be a guy,
Could be,
because it says Abe
bro.
Bro. Please
Sounds like a
pray.
guy.
So it's a guy pretending to be a girl.
Yo, his name is just Clear.
Huh?
His name is probably just Clear, probably French. I don't know. And it might be a guy. I never heard of a guy named Claire. Just
Just
like
so I'm,
I've never heard of a boy named Sue. Damn that Johnny Cash.
I'm just saying, man. Uh, Say I was long time ago by Black Witch with the full works FA. I don't know what he's trying to say. It says
Madre,
he she I
mom,
was long time ago by Black Witch.
tenga,
Yeah.
tenga, tenga, tenga. Lléveselos, lléveselos porque me los acabo. Yes, the
Somebody
man in black. Johnny Cash, the man in black. Johnny Cash, man. You know, he had that song, "A Boy Named Sue."
Sounds like he was a Vietnam vet. Sounds like he was in the Philippines or Vietnam or something.
Mm-hmm.
The boy named Sue.
Damn it! The thing's something's trying to get in into me through my ear, cousin.
Okay, let's. I'm gonna share the footage, man. Then we'll say some more stories. All right.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Uh, okay, let's get to the footage here. Well, it might be this one. Okay, this is the regular footage.
Who's the guy in the hat? Is that Primo?
Put it up. Yeah, check it out, cousin Jesse.
Hmm. Is that an orb?
There's activity already right here,
Yeah, I see it.
and I know here, but check it out. You're gonna figure out with this one, cousin. Okay, check it out. Check this. You're gonna figure out with this. See that? It opened his. It's right here, a face.
Yeah, I see it.
Check this out. It opens his mouth. It's got an open mouth and the eyes. It's
Mm-hmm. I see
like
it.
a succubus. I believe he's trying
Mm-hmm.
to drain his energy. And my brother's been having neck problems, and it headaches. Uh, and this is why I believe a possible succubus got him from the neck area. So I'm gonna go a little bit forward, but it's right here in front of him. That's the day that I said that he took like 5 cents back because something was in front of him when he came to visit. It's still there, it's still there,
How you doing, Lawrence Morgan?
and boom! Look at that.
Wow,
Look over here.
I see it.
Check it out. It's not there, and the manifest is moving there. Where is it at? Oh, lost it. There it is. We got one here and one here. They don't look like he's got cuernos or something.
But you're right. They always travel in twos.
So this is why I'm doing this today. Uh, this is another thing I should have put on here. It's not just about uh, bondage to possession. It's also about draining your life source, like energy vampires, right? Where succubus and incubus, that's what they are. They'll drain your energy, your spiritual energy. But they're all around him here. There's like another face here behind him. You got this one here, and then this one is over here. I mean,
Yep.
I'll play the video so you can see that activity starts picking up over here where I'm at.
Welcome in, Dick.
Look right there. Look, it's still in front of them right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's attacking. It's trying to attach itself to our heads. See, there's going to be activity over here by me too. I'm just going to push play. It's right there on my back.
Oh, look at that.
It's still there. It's like all over me. And the other one is still in front of my brother.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing that. Wow.
The other one is like right behind me on my neck area. Look at that. Jumping on my neck.
What's up, Dick? Amen, Dick. Wow, that's crazy, cousin.
Yeah.
And that happened right in front of your house, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Right in front of the house, cousin.
Wow.
See, that one appeared manifest out of nowhere. This one was here first, and this one came afterwards. Well, the ones that are around me always look beastly, man. Look at that.
Why does it have horns, man?
I don't know, primo. This one over here looks like a succubus.
Yep.
Check it out. He shows, opens his eyes.
Have you showed that video to your brother?
Yeah, yeah,
What do you think about it?
yeah. Look, and then the other one appeared right here. Oh my God, I moved it. I think there was a. It had his mouth open by my head. Let's see if I can capture that image. Uh, there it is. Just appeared. I just wanted to share that with you, cousin. There and there. You're right. A Morgan here. My bro.
So, Dick, PRT is done.
How you doing, brother Dick?
I was in there earlier, man. I said hi to you, and you didn't even answer back, man. That's all right, man. I was the first one there today. First one there, first one to leave.
If you, where did you make the comment on YouTube?
What? What comment, cousin?
No, you said that you said something, said hi, and then they took off. Then you took off.
Yeah, I went when I was in PRT. I went live. I went into the live, and I was the first one there before even Josh was on there. So I was there. I said hi to a couple of people, and then I bounced.
What the hell? It said, "Oh shoot, sorry, cousin, my
Yeah,
bad, honey." Oh, homie, damn.
it says
I was like,
homie,
honey,
and yeah, I knew it didn't say honey.
I need my glasses, man. I seen that blurry.
Yeah, Dick. When I usually go in there, I'm on my other on my phone, and it says Guadalupe Carbajal instead of Jesse.
That's what it was. You probably didn't know that.
Oh man, this thing feels so good on my neck, dude. My neck's been hurting. I put this on. It takes all the hurt away, man.
I got one too. My son got gifted me. You just need to start using it.
One like this. Dude, yesterday I leaned back in this chair right there. Man, I passed out. It felt so good that my neck wasn't hurting.
Didn't you say, cousin Jesse, that your friend Juan, he would act strange sometimes, like he was something trying to enter him and stuff like that because of what he would do, what he would practice.
Yeah, man, he would have battles with spirits that were trying to possess him, man. But his grandma taught him to trade. Hello, Renner, how you doing? I said hi to you too, man. You also didn't say hi back. It's all right, Runner.
But it was you're under Guadalupe.
Yep. But no, man, his grandma taught him to trade, man. So he knows how to do witchcraft, man. His grandma was a witch. She taught him to trade. Since he was a teenager, she taught him to trade.
But he had a spiritual opening then. Just by
Yep.
dabbling in that, the opening is there.
That and he had a lot of anger toward his father. I remember he wanted me to beat up his dad. I said sure, and me not knowing that my dad had trained that man. He would have whooped my ass.
Your dad,
Me and Juan, my family and Juan's family go back 3 generations, man. My dad and his dad were friends. Me and Juan were friends, and my kids and his kid are friends. 3 generations of Carbajal Garzas that have been
oh
friends
wow. So your kids are friends with him.
with his kid. Yeah, how you doing, Cowboy 4572? Welcome in, brother. I hadn't seen you in a while.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, he's been in here quite a few times, man. But yeah, man. My daddy taught his daddy how to fight, and me and Joy taught him how to fight. This is probably the only real friend I had in Raymondville, man. If I wasn't hanging out with y'all, los primos, man, I won't hang nobody but him. But yeah, man, sometimes he would like look like he was really far away, man, and then he would start acting weird, and I kind of figured that it was a spiritual thing that was going on with him because his grandma, when he would get like that, his grandma would come out of the house and take him in there, and then she'd tell me to wait on outside, and then a little while later he'd come outside, he'd be himself again. The guy, like I said, when my mom passed away, that I was drinking in the driveway of the house, that black lechuza came and landed on that telephone pole and was screeching at us. And I was gonna say something. He told me to be quiet. He walked out to the sidewalk and he said something to it in a language I didn't understand. and the lechuza took off flying. And when it got over Olga's cantina, it fell into the alley behind her. I mean, it literally fell out of the air. So
I don't know
yeah,
what a lechuza is.
he knew a lechuza is a bird-like animal that was transformed into by a human.
But which
A
bruja?
witch, a witch or a warlock, they sell their soul to a demon, and it gives them the power to be able to manifest into a bird-like creature, and not just bird-like. Because I know a witch in Juarez that transforms into energy, and she can go in through the electric wires. That's all right, cowboy man. Do what you do, man. Stack your cheddar. If it doesn't rain, I'm gonna stack my cheddar too tomorrow. But it's saying that it's gonna be raining by 8 o'clock, man. We're gonna get some thunderstorms. No, I didn't hear it talk, Monica. I said that he stepped out into the sidewalk and he talked to it in a language that I couldn't understand. After it screeched at us, it whistled at us, and it took off from the pole trying to fly, and it fell out of the sky when it got over that lady's place of business into the alley. Could hear it flapping around out there. I guess he killed it. Yes, Richard. Elemental magic. She could turn into electricity and travel through the electric wires. Is she a female? Because if she's a female, yes, she's a bruja. But if it's a male, then he's a brujo or a warlock in English. Unless he wears a hat like this, and you could call him Papa Shango.
Uh, they also have a. They always have a familiar with them, right?
Yes, sir.
Las brujas.
Oh man, I hadn't had a Coke in days. That's delicious.
Any questions? Anybody would like to ask of what we're talking about?
I will do my best to answer any and all questions.
I'm gonna give cousin Jesse the spotlight for a little bit,
Oh no, not
dealing with
again!
the same topics, man. Because I know you have a lot of stories of the brujas from Rainbowville, the lechuzas, and all
Yeah,
that. Because
yeah. I got
because
an
that's what their ultimate goal is trying to find an opening. That's all they do. Fly around, trying to see who's got a spiritual opening to attack. Attack the people that are on the bad road, like the guys that are out there messing around, that are married, messing with women. They're always targeting somebody.
all right, Lerman. Well, I don't know about all that, Dick, but it's like I always say, magic does not have a color. It depends on the caster. Cowboy. Yeah, maybe she's just going through that women thing, man. Cowboy. She might have mental pause. Yeah, I don't know about all that, man. Women are women. What's up, little brother? How you doing? Oh yeah, me too, Lerman. I'm a taco assassin, bro. I kill tacos for fun.
But your bro killed burritos.
Yeah, my brother kills burritos, man. Yeah, my grandma was a healer, man. She practiced white magic, man. How's your old lady, little brother? She better? Yeah, man. Like in my mom's house, cousin. I was sleeping in the living room, man, and the room where my sister Flora used to sleep. You could feel that there was somebody or something in that room watching you in the living room. Uh, August. When you say portal, are you around anything that reflects? Hello, Duendita. Welcome in. ¿Cómo estás? Yeah, and I would sleep in the living room, man. Here it was like in 2000, and then one night my mom went and got me from the living room and told me to come sleep in her room because she said that there was a black shadow figure standing over me while I was sleeping in the living room. So then we both slept in her room. She would sleep on the bed. I would sleep on the floor. She always left the light in the restroom on and the light over the stove on. 'Cause you know that back room. I'm better than yesterday, Madeline. Yesterday I was just dead tired, man. I couldn't stay awake. But you know what I do, Primo? That in that back room of the house, it was haunted. Right there where you found that whip, right there where Grandpa's machete was, it was full of blood. So yeah, that house had activity in it as well, man. But yeah, that black shadow figure was standing over me while I was sleeping in the living room. So my mom made me sleep in her room on the floor. In Panama City Beach in 2017. But when you see the whatever it is you see, is it in a reflective surface, especially like if you're at the house and you see that, is it in a mirror, TV screen, phone screen? Will you buy a reflective surface? August is what I'm asking. A mirror, a window, a water, TV screen. And as far as like lechuzas go, yeah, I hate that, little brother. That damn autocorrect always gets me because of my fat fingers. I was walking toward the ranch because we live 2.5 miles out of town, and I was looking toward the traffic coming in front of me because I was walking on the facing traffic. Well, it depends on the negativity in the room per se, Monica. Yeah, August, because water is also a portal because it reflects. Any surface that reflects is a portal. Like right now, I'm sitting in front of a big old television screen. That's a gigantic black portal where the demons are watching me doing what I'm doing. The screens on the phones and the tablet, they're also black portals. All right, little brother. But yeah, like I said, I was walking back to the house, and like I said, I was walking into oncoming traffic, and there was nothing in front of me, nothing behind me. Then all of a sudden, because some people are blind to it, Madeline. It's the people that have spiritual openings that notice it because they're the ones that are getting attacked. And as I was saying, I was walking, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this gigantic white bird almost hit me in my eyes. I sidestepped it, and it flew by me. It was a white lechuza that had come out of the skies out of nowhere and tried to take my eyes. And I was looking back at it, and when I turned around, I almost got hit by a Cadillac that came out of nowhere because, like I said, I had just been looking to the front of me, and there was nothing coming, and that Cadillac came out of nowhere. Wow, that's crazy, August. Could be, Madeline. Oh wow. Uh, there are some things like that, August, that can only be rebuked through fasting and prayer. Yes, Mr. Anderson, because they need spiritual help, Mr. Anderson. Exactly, Mr. Anderson. They only mess with people that they consider a threat, a spiritual threat. Anyway, like I said, I almost got hit by a Cadillac that came out of nowhere, and then when I turned back to see where the Cadillac was, it was gone. It disappeared. I don't know what it was, but yeah, it almost hit me. Just like when I was walking, when I lived on the other side of town, off the other highway, that that lechuza that followed me home, it turned out to be my homeboy Juan. And the the thing with him is I dropped him off at his house, and then I took off walking back to my house. And since I've always been a paranoid kind of guy, I always took different routes home. You tried fasting and prayer, August, and I went through a yard, got attacked by a dog, ran down the street, came out by the junkyard, and those dogs tried to attack me as well. I got on the highway and I looked up and I saw a big old bird. Rest well, little brother. May the Lord protect you while you sleep, and may He heal your wife. Hello, exuberance. How you doing, man? Welcome in. And like I said, I looked up into the sky and I saw that big old black white bird flying in the sky. I got home, and then the next day when I went to my homeboy Juan's house, he told me everything that happened to me, and that I got attacked by one dog, and that I almost got attacked by the junkyard dog, and that when I looked up, he goes, "You saw that white bird?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "That was me." He's indisposed at the moment. Exuberance, but he's here. He just got off for a little bit.
I'm listening, cousin.
I know Exuberance was asking where you were.
I'm right here. I'm just listening.
Ooh, man, that's bad. I'm out of coca. Well, you might want to talk to a pastor or a preacher about it, August. I mean, we're dealing in Christ here. If it were, if I was still practicing my old religion, I would say you need a cleansing, but you need to talk to a pastor or a priest and tell them your problems. Maybe they can help you. Hey, Maddie, did you notice I was the first one on the other show? Yeah, I snuck in. Ninja time. Oh, man. A little tense. Yeah, I would suggest you try to get spiritual help from a church leader or a pastor, a priest. 'Cause it sounds like somebody's trying to put a root work on you, brother. Welcome back,
I
cousin.
just been here chilling.
I, I held down the room the best
Well, you're
that I
doing
could,
good, man.
man.
I was
But
listening
August,
to the conversation.
August is having a spiritual threat, man. He every time he gets around water, man, he sees a portal and he sees himself in the portal. So I told him to try
That's what.
prayer and fasting. He said he's tried
You seen
that.
his reflection?
So yeah,
That's what it is. His reflection.
he said it might be a demon that's accosting him through the portal. So I told him to seek spiritual help from a pastor or a priest. You know, we would do. If I was practicing that old religion, I would tell him he need a limpia. But you know that's not what we do here.
It cleans him.
He says showed it to a different ones. One said we don't know all the mysteries. The other one just started asking me questions for what he was doing in church in his church. Wow, exactly, Madeline. Thank you, Madeline. Ah, it's exuberance, aka Lalo Lies. How you doing, X? Welcome in, man. Hey, Madeline, se fue Abadaba.
Jabba doo. Jabba dabba doo.
Y salió con una bota pintada en las nalgas. Iba gritando, "Abadabadoo". That was probably heavenly angels. August Bradshaw. If you were drowning and you cried out to Jesus, and you felt something push you up over a log, it was an angel or your guardian angel. Wow, August, your guardian angel was working overtime, bro.
Amen. You call upon Jesus Christ to assist you, August
Mhm.
Bradshaw. He controls everything, man. Time, space. It makes things happen
Everything.
in a positive way where you come out without a scratch. But the good thing is that you call upon him to help you.
Maybe it is your guardian angel if it won't go away. If you fasted on it, prayed on it, and rebuked it, and Jesus Christ came and it's still there, then it might be your guardian angel that you're seeing that he's out there trying to protect you because you got him working overtime, brother. Madeline. Yeah, Madeline. He got kicked out with one of those pony toy Mexican boots. The ones with the cobra heads. Now he's somewhere singing that song, La Bota Ay, La Bota Ay.
I remember my friend that had epilepsy, Frankie. His name was Frankie. I know you remember Frankie from Removille. That he walked with like a sound like this.
Yeah, I remember him now when you said that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember he always carried a spoon in his pocket, and he would tell me when I get a seizure, if I get a seizure, make sure you put the spoon in my mouth because if not,
He won't
I
bite
can
his
bite my
tongue.
tongue off. So, and he would be foaming from the mouth and everything. I would try to put it in there, but he kept on going like this, like biting and stuff, and I couldn't put the spoon in his mouth. He would lose control of bowel movement and everything. He had like severe epilepsy. But if you don't know, brothers,
Wow.
epilepsy
Yes.
is from a possession. It's most of
That's
the
what they thought it was back in Jesus' time.
epilepsy. One thing about epilepsy, you might have an episode, but after a while, you become better after you have the episode. Dick Richard says, "I had epilepsy. I had epilepsy, or were you diagnosed epilepsy, or were you diagnosed and treated on epilepsy? Diagnosed by a neurologist and treated for epilepsy through medication." He said, "I almost bit my tongue off twice." Exactly. If Jesus healed three epileptics in the Bible or cast the demons out, I mean, I think he did a lot of that out of a lot of people because he casted many demons out of a lot of people. They don't mention all the people that he did that to. That he did many you could say exercise the demons out of people. Yeah. Uh, some of the mentally ill people do have negative attachments, possible possessions that would have to get uh, people to go visit these individuals to get rid of the negative attachment that they have. Some might be generational curses that they don't know about, and some might be because of the path that they're on, that they have a spiritual opening, unforgiveness, hatred, anger, which is it causes a person to be not mentally ill, but I would say like bonded. Dick Richards and my mother had it too. She had the brain surgery. The medication made it worse. Yeah. Generational curses. Yes. The medications that I was on at one point in time, because I got diagnosed when I was in the military from a blow to the head that I had afterwards. A diagnosis with it. Yeah, the side effects of the medications is very bad, which is suicidal. You got gabapentin, you got the phenytoin, there's Depakote, and the better medicines that has worked for me pretty good is Ricertidum. That's worked pretty good. But in spite of what had happened to me in the military, the things that I seen since I was a kid all the way up to when I was in an accident, uh, I was able to see. So that was just something else that I had to overcome, which thank God is well treated. Sometimes the medicines don't work, so when you wake up, you got scratches in your body, you got bite marks inside your mouth where you bite. This seizure, you're having the seizures. You can be out in the sun too long because the heat can trigger it. You can go on roller coaster rides because the 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 movement and the vibration will will trigger a seizure. So for those that like things to vibrate, don't mess with them, especially if you're epileptic, because you will have a seizure.
Y'all are naming off medications I've never heard of.
Yeah, I was on that medication for about 13 years, Dick Richards, and I'll tell the doctor to get me off of it. He wouldn't. Then one day I went to an appointment, and man, I was gripping because the seizures were uncontrollable because the medicine wasn't working. The only thing it was doing is making it worse for me. Suicidal. The suicidal thoughts was there. There was an opening, uh, anger, and things like that. Um, I think it was an appointment. It was a checkup, and he was telling me how many fingers I got. So he was moving his fingers like this real fast, and he was laughing. And then he said, "Squeeze my fingers." I squeezed his fingers, and then he's like, "You can do better than that." And he's laughing. So I squeezed his. He said, "You squeeze them again." He said, "You can squeeze them harder." When I squeezed them harder, that's all I remember. I don't remember nothing. When I came to and got my eyesight back, his fingers are bent all the way back, and I'm still sitting down. He's on his knees, and he's,
No. I'm glad you're
and
okay,
he's
Dick.
screaming. He's telling me, he's yelling, screaming, "Let me go! Let me go!" And I looked at him with his fingers all the way back, and I looked at him in his eyes, and I said, "Are you gonna help me?" And he's like, "Yes, yes," screaming in pain. He's
Sorry
and
for your losses,
he's saying, "Let
Mr.
me
Anderson.
go." So I let him
Ivy.
go. He jumps up from the ground on his seat and he starts typing on the computer. And that's the last time I took the lanfentoin because he changed me over to labitrocettum, and that's the meds that I take. I got the epilepsy from a blow to the head when I flew out of the tank. While we were training
Wow.
in Fort Ord, California. I hit my head on the breech, which is where the main gun round goes. It's just all metal, all steel, and I got knocked out. So yeah, I was knocked out for about 4 hours. My eyes were just blinking real fast, nonstop.
I'm dead. Oh, Lord.
Sorry about that, Dick Richards. Did you went through that? When you mean you were dancing with the devil, what do you mean by that, Mr. Anderson? When you had epilepsy or you were sick? Yeah, they know what they're doing. Every medicine has a side effect. Every drug has a side effect. In saying that, I got another story for y'all. Uh, my battalion brigade was in Bosnia, and I was rear D, in which I was in charge of the companies, all the companies. I was like the rear D commander, in charge of all the companies. And when the people came back from Bosnia, there was this guy I seen talking to himself. I recognized him because he was a medic. His name was Sergeant Edwards, and he was talking to himself. And I didn't know what was going on. So that evening, I was supposed to go to guard something, and they had me up at the battalion. The sergeant major didn't like me, uh, so there was a phone call up there while I was waiting for him, saying that they had an NCO from a battalion that tried to commit suicide. That they needed a detail to place them under suicide watch to watch them for 24 hours. So they put me for night shift and another guy for the day shift. The sergeant major said, if anything happens to him, I'm going to have your rank, blah, 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 because he didn't like me. So I went to go guard him in the it's a fifth ward. That's what it's called up in Darnell Hospital. And I go guard him, and man, as soon as I entered this fifth ward, I could see all the dark shadow spirits forming around there, brother and sisters. Trust me, these people are not crazy. They're just being tormented, or they're being how should I say, spiritually attacked. Because I seen all the unclean spirits roaming in the hallways, going in from room to room. So I'm witnessing all this, but I'm not saying nothing to anybody because if those people they think they're crazy and they got them under surveillance, if I would have tell them what I was seeing, they probably would have tried to lock me up there with them. So I was like, no way, I'm going to say anything to nobody. I'm going to keep it to myself. So I would pray, Uh, Soren Edwards, you know, uh, he uh, he was like trying to be mean to me, but I always had the Bible with me, and I would say the Our Father and or pray. He would get mad, but it was the thing that was in him that would get mad. He tried to take the screw of the shower drain off with his nail, try to get the screws to cut himself. So I confiscated that, and I said, from now on, if you're gonna take a shit, I'm gonna be right there while you're taking a shit. I'm gonna be right there with you when you're wiping your ass. I'm gonna be there when you brush your teeth. I'm gonna be like white or rice on you. I'm not gonna give you. So you're gonna do everything with the door open because I'm gonna keep an eye on you. Uh, so he would get mad, but I didn't care, right? And then one day, I'm sitting in the room and he's asleep. As he's asleep, I seen him moving around in the bed, and I'm looking because I'm trying to see if he's trying to cut himself, but he's asleep and he's moving around. And then I see a dark shadow figure appear right beside him, a manifestation, and it's there right by his head. And then that the dark shadow figure turns into what seems to be a spirit of a boy. So as the spirit of the boy is there, it starts hitting him on the head. I mean, like hitting him on the head. So he goes like this, he's going like this, and he wakes up and he looks at me and he said, "Did you see that?" I said, "I seen something." And I asked him, "What did you see?" He said, "Well, it's a little boy. It's my brother. My brother was attacking me." And I said, "What's up with your brother?" He said that when he was younger, him and his brother were swimming in a lake. His brother got cramps, and he was trying to help him from drowning, but his brother drowned. So he said that all these years, the spirit of his brother has been tormenting him, right? Because he let him down because he drowned. And I told him, that's not your brother,
Mm.
because that's not what I seen before your brother appeared. What I seen was a dark shadow figure. So we need to pray. He didn't want to pray with me. So the following day comes, and we're eating breakfast. We're eating breakfast, and he's looking at me, and he's laughing. He's like laughing at me, and I said, "What's so funny?" He's like, "I know what's the matter with you." That's what he told me. "I know what's the matter with you." And I said, "If there's something the matter with me, then what's the matter with me?" And he started laughing again. He told me, "You have epilepsy," and he started laughing real wickedly. So I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I got up, and then the doctors come to me. He's like, "Hey, what is he talking to you? What is he telling you?" Because the only time we ever see him talking when he comes around you, but when he comes around us, he don't say a single word. We can't get nothing out of him. Well, what is he telling you? I didn't tell him what he told me. As I can try to talk to him for you, but I couldn't say what he was telling me. So so I told Sergeant Major, I think there's something wrong with him. I believe you need to bring a priest, so get rid of the unclean spirit that's in him, because I see activity around him. You're like, Sergeant CS, I don't believe in that shit. I know what I'm gonna do with him. I'm gonna uh, kick him out of the army,
Rest well,
take all
Cynthia.
his rank, kick him out of the army. So that's exactly what he did. He kicked him out of the military. Son Edwards got kicked out of the army. He was home, I think, 1 week that he got home. In the week that he got home, he took his life. Soren Edwards. I had told the
Wow.
sergeant major, you got the power to do something about this. So I don't believe in that shit. Blah blah blah. So you know it's gonna fall on you because I'm telling you that there's something wrong with him, and you say it's your responsibility. That's why I'm coming to you and telling you that he needs spiritual help. I don't believe in that. So there's a story about Soren Edwards that he's not amongst us anymore. When he was a medic, before what made him go that route or whatever happened to him is that when he came back from Bosnia, he found an empty home. His wife left with the kids. It left him with nothing. So the man lost it. This one some of the things that happen all the time in the military, things like that, or sometimes the guys come back and the wife was with somebody else, or the girlfriend was with somebody else, and the guys lose it.
Wow, we hit that 2 hour mark, cousin. 2:06.
Yeah, let me read it.
And
Some of this.
Claire's a woman, man. She's 50 something years old.
Oh, Claire Porter.
Hmm.
There's another-
She's the one that asked you for prayer earlier.
Oh, I don't know. She said, "Bro, why am I seeing things wrong? I don't got my glasses.
No, she said
I'm not. I
pro.
don't got my.
No, she
I don't
said
got my glasses on.
no. She said pro. She said bro. And Cynthia also wants prayer because one of her friends passed away and one is terminal.
You want to lead the prayer, cousin Jesse, for both for Claire and for Sister Cynthia?
Let me see if I don't get tongue tied, cousin.
I'll let you lead the prayer.
Uh, dear Heavenly Father, please help Claire and please help Cynthia's friend and please make it so that her friend finds his way into your bosom, dear Lord. May all their afflictions be canceled and may they find some sort of rest with your help, Lord. If they have any negative attachments, may they be taken away from them. If anybody is trying to do witchcraft and necromancy, may they be returned to the sender. Please send your heavenly angels to help these sisters, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Send your angels of healing, your angels of mourning, and guide them with your heavenly light into your kingdom, Heavenly Father, and heal Sister Claire from any spiritual afflictions, attacks, or sicknesses. We place heavenly spiritual crosses on her from head to toe. We tie, bind, and rebuke whatever's causing her ailments or whatever is causing ailments through witchcraft and necromancy. We tie, bind, and rebuke you in Jesus Christ's name. For whoever's causing this to go back to the senders 7 times fold. This we pray in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
We hit the 2 hour mark, our cousin.
Yep.
Yeah, his name was Soren Edwards. He was pretty cool with me. He was a medic. He was always hooking me up. He knew that I had a lot of allergies, and I would always get fevers, sinus, but I didn't know I had allergies. Uh, the only thing that would give me was ibuprofen. Ibuprofen ain't gonna stop you from having your mucus backed up or anything like that. Sometimes it would give me cough syrup, but what was really hurting me was allergies. I just didn't know that I had allergies while I was in the military. I found out I had allergies when I went to the VA, that I have allergies. But so all the time that I was in the military, that I would get sick, it was actually allergies that was causing all that. Training out there in the woods, in this a lot of cedar. Uh, I think the cedar was what was causing the allergies.
Damn that mountain cedar.
And of course, pollen, right? Pollen from the trees. We went over the 2 hour marker, 2 hours and 10 minutes. What time we got, cousin?
It is
One
118.
18. Is there something else you would like to share? A story that you remember, or maybe something dealing with that? Or, I mean, 2 hours is, we're hit the 2 hour marker. We're trying to.
No, I'm done, man. I'm gonna have to get up at
Okay,
6.
cousin.
If it doesn't rain, I gotta go do some work, man.
Alrighty. I'll let you say your farewells, Primo. Thank you for coming.
I like being here, man. I look forward to it, man. But sometimes it just doesn't work out, man. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome for coming in and joining us when you're spending some time here talking about whatever it is we talk about. Because sometimes we get off topic really, really bad. But in saying that, ladies and gentlemen, may the Lord protect you while you sleep, and may you have abundance and blessings when you wake up in the morning. This is Cousin Jesse, and I'm out of here. All right, Primo. Bye, Duandita.
There you go, folks. 2 hour show. Not tomorrow. We got Werewolf Wednesday. I do have another story for y'all. Y'all want to hear it? I think I've shared this one before. If you're a regular here, you probably heard this story. You only want me to share another story? I'll share one more. We can call it a night. Uh, this story happened in Elms Grove Estates. When we talk about possessions, um, I was walking with I had cut in a tree, a little tree, and make it a walking stick because the VA wouldn't give me no walking stick. So I made my own walking stick. I was walking down the main highway to go to the corner store, which was I think a Family Dollar at the time. As I was walking to the Family Dollar, to the right of the highway, there was a African American man, right, walking on the right side of the road, but he was way ahead of me, probably like 100 feet in front of me. So he got to the edge, by the bridge. There's like where the rail starts, right? The rails that go on the side of the bridge. Well, it's like he stopped there. When he stopped, I seen him get elevated in the air about 7, 8 feet up in the air, and he gets slammed. He gets lifted up again, and he gets slammed by an unseen force. It happened 3 times that he gets lifted up and slammed on the street. So I'm looking, and I'm like, "What?" I was like, "Did I just see that?" So as I'm walking on the left side, I get parallel to him, and I stop, and I yell from the other side of the street because there's cars passing by, and I say, "Are you okay?" He's not responding. So I walk halfway to the bridge. I'm in the middle of the bridge, and I say, "You know what? Let me cross to the other side and help him out." So I cross to the other side, and I'm yelling at him, and I'm saying, "Sir, are you okay? Do you need help?" but he's not responding. So I walk a little bit further more, but I'm still in the middle of the bridge. And I ask him again, sir, do you need help? Can I help you? He gets up real slow. He starts stumbling. He comes towards me, and he's maybe like probably like 5, 6 feet away from me. He looks at me, and his eyes are a little bit red. And he says, "Next time I see you, I'm gonna kill you." And I said, "Sir," I ignored what he said to me. And I said, but I was cautious, and I kept on looking, and his eyes were like bloodshot red. I said, come on, sir, let me help you. Let's go to the store." And he looks at me again. "Next time I see you, I'm gonna kill you." So, okay, sir, come on, come with me. Let's cross the street. And he keeps on repeating himself numerous times. I cross him all the way across the highway to where the store is, and as we're working up the sidewalk, up the pavement to the Family Dollar, he keeps on saying the same thing to me. "Next time I see you, I'm gonna kill you." But I know that he got slammed hard, so I'm thinking to myself, well, I already know what's the situation. Not that I'm not thinking that he hit his head so hard that he's repeating himself. I'm thinking that there's something in him that's got his body possessed, that's taken over his body, because he keeps on telling me the same thing. But I'm using my love foundation, so I'm ignoring him telling me, "Next time I see you, I'm gonna kill you." So I'm able to walk him to the store. I stand him by the cash register. I said, right here, let me go get you some water." I go to where the water is. Uh, I pray over the water to bless the water. So as I'm praying and blessing the water, as soon as I finish blessing the water, I pray for the Heavenly Father to bless it. I hear him ask the cashier, "What's your name?" And she told her name, and he told her, "Next time I see you, I'm gonna kill you." And she got scared. She started calling I guess the cop, 911. And I went up to her, "Hey, no, 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 you don't understand. He hit his head. You don't know what he's saying. He's been repeating the same thing since I found him on the bridge." And he's standing there, and I give him the water, open it up, "Here you go." And I'm giving up because out of kindness, out of love. Drink the water. He drank the water. When he drank the water, he brought down the water. Next thing you know, he's normal. Like, "Hey, thank you for the water, man." And he's talking like if nothing. And I asked him a question. I said, "Can you, what happened?" He said, I asked him, "Why were you walking on the highway?" He said, "Well, I ran out of fuel on my truck, and I was pissed off with myself. I was mad with myself because my fuel tank was in the back of the truck. So I'm walking home to get the fuel tank." That's what he said. So that's why he was on the road. But he don't remember what happened to him. And I didn't tell him nothing. No, I just made sure he went a different directions besides going towards the bridge. But he don't remember anything that happened to him. And I told the cashier, "Thank you." She was like freaked out. I mean, when somebody tells you that they're going to kill you, I mean, the only thing that works off of fear, brother and sisters, is this unseen forces that I speak about, the DDN, the fallen, anything dealing with unclean spirits. That's what they target. The fear is one of their number one weapons, right? If they can get you to fear, they're going to use that against you. If they can get you to get angry, they're going to use that against you. If they can get you to believe in whatever they're throwing at you, they're going to use that against you because it's a spiritual opening. If you have unforgiveness, that's a spiritual opening. Telling the spiritual warfare is very real. That you really have to pay attention, pay attention, and use whatever you're learning here, spiritual encrypted encounters. Use what I'm telling you, so you can overcome the trial of tribulation. If you ever get in a situation that something like this happens, you know exactly what to do, right? You think you talk about it. You it's kind of like reading something, right? When you're trying to memorize something, once you memorize it, you're gonna say a word per word, right? But when you're saying something like "I tie bound and rebuke in Jesus Christ's name," and you play out the scenario, if something's manifesting that look beastly, or something is changing form, something is making different growling sounds, animal sounds, you can look into that, right? Don't give it power, but take the power away by tie bound and rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name. It's what they try to get you to do. Try to set you up for failure. But tomorrow we'll be having Werewolf Wednesday. I hope you like that story right there. Happened in Killeen, Texas, right by the creek that goes in between, right on the bridge that goes in between the other side of Elms Grove and Elms Grove. Yeah, there's several occasions of possessions that happened there. Let me see something real quick. Wait one. Yeah, I've had several experiences like that, brother and sisters, of possessions. Uh, that I had to help out the people that were being spiritually targeted. There's another story. There was this woman that was from New York. Uh, she moved from New York to Elms Grove to stay with her sister. That the sister husband was in the military. The reason she moved from New York is because her husband had physically hurt her, like I mean, beat her up. I mean, she had scars all over her body, her face, her elbows, knees, where he hurt her real bad that he almost killed her, right? So she carried fear and she carried hatred in her. And I was trying to tell her that that's not good and stuff like that. I would try to give her spiritual advice, and she would start crying about how she would tell me detail how badly he physically abused her, the things he would say to her and stuff like that. And I would try to tell her that she needs to forget those things that were said to her, to tie bind and break those negative. It's kind of like a form of witchcraft when somebody says something negative and they're harming you because they're trying to install something negative in you, like an opening. So we prayed and stuff, and I tried to help her out. And for about a week, I was trying to give her advice and stuff like that. Uh, then one day, I'm at the swimming pool with my son. It's like around 5:30 in the evening time. It's still sunlight out there. We're swimming. My son's swimming, you know, and we're in the deep. We're trading water. Me and my son are trading water. And then we heard the gate open and close. And when we turned around, she's in the water already. She's just there standing, looking at us. She's looking at me and my son, and she's standing, just staring at us, right? Then she's like, "Oh, I feel something on my back." She goes like this. She had like a bug, it looked like a roach bug, threw it out of the pool. And I said, "Oh wow, I wonder how I got there." And I'm looking in the water. I don't see no bugs. And then she's like, "Ooh, I feel something here." She grabs it, and it was like a spider, and threw it out of out of the pool. And she's like looking at me. "Ooh, I wonder how that got there." And then she's like, "Ooh, I feel something else." She went like this, like, back, head, neck area, around this long, like a millipede in her hand, and she throws it out of the out of the pool and just looking at us. So I grabbed my son. Okay, son, let's get out of the pool. I walked him up the little stairs on the side, and I'm looking at her. I'm keeping an eye on her, and she's just looking at me, staring at me all crazy. So I grabbed my son and said, "All right, son, let's go." And say, "Hey, you have a nice day." And she's just staring at me, you know. So we walk out and we get to the house. My son takes a shower. I'm taking a shower, and when I come out of the shower, my sister says, "Hey, your friend's been sitting there out there for about an hour." Where? What are you talking about? Remember, she's right there, uh, standing, just staring, with her eyes white. Her eyes are white. She's like, her eyes are white like the Undertaker. So I go to look, and she's just standing there with her eyes rolled back white, looking towards my bedroom. So I start praying. I start praying the Our Father. Start praying Our Father who art in heaven. And she just turns and walks up the street. I believe that she was being demonically afflicted, demonized because of what she carried. The what he did to her, what he tried to kill her, all the scars, all the anger. Uh, that there was a spiritual opening that it could have been something from the park that sensed the openings and attached itself to her. But yeah, there was a truly a possession. You know, I'm just glad that she didn't try to do anything while I was there with my son. I mean, I would have fought spiritually, of course. I can't remember her name right now on top of my head, but yeah, she had some very heavy. I mean, and she was coming from New York, Pacawalas, New York City. You already know about New York City. There's a lot of things that run rampant in New York City. I think New York City is like the new. What's the name of the story within the Bible? The What's the name of the lady that lives by the ocean where all the sailors will come? Ah, can't remember her name. The Jezebel spirit, where all the sailors would go and things would happen because she was very evil. And next thing you know, she fell from the top and landed in the middle of the street, and all the dogs came and ate her. I just remember the name of the woman. I think it's like the next, like Babylon, right? Something like that. Uh, they can manifest temporary manifestations. Texas learn me. Basically, what I'm telling you is that it wasn't just one demon; that it was more than one demon that was within her, and that they can manifest to anything. Into bugs is one of them that they can manifest, but it's a temporary manifestation. So she definitely had more than one unclean spirit in her. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That she had more than one unclean spirit. Every bug she threw out, that was a demon manifestation. And the manifestation was of that bug, whether it was a spider, whether it was a centipede, uh, was whatever she threw out of her back was a manifestation of a demon, because she had several demons in her that were possessing her. Yeah, it's a temporary manifestation. You put the temporary manifestation and you type under rebuke in Jesus Christ's name, it's going to disappear. I'll give an example of that. I was working in the fields, and my mother was up in the row. We're working in the cotton, and I heard her scream. When I got up beside her, there was a coiled rattlesnake ready to strike her. This rattlesnake had red eyes. So as it was focused on her, I swung my hoe on it, and I hit it right on top of the head. When I hit it right on top of the head, I told my mom to run, to move out of the way. There was a puff of white smoke. And when the puff of white smoke cleared, there was no rattlesnake with red eyes. So, yes, a temporary manifestation. It can manifest into anything. That's right, exuberance. Yes, temporary manifestations. They have those abilities. Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder about one thing. You know, when you hear about that many people know a lot of languages, the legion know all the languages. They'll talk to you in your own language. So it makes you wonder when you hear people that know 7, 8 languages, if maybe they have something on them or something. Because that's hard to do to to know. I think if I'm correct, Jesus Christ knew all the languages that he would speak, and everybody would understand him. Yeah, I don't know whatever happened to that woman. All I know is I had to protect my son. Yeah, she was trying to see if I was going to be afraid or something, but I wasn't. I was praying within myself, the Our Father. That's why it stayed away. Uh, she tried to go to the house. I know she was mad. I guess the demon was mad because I was trying to help her, you know, or the demons. Not that she must have been something else, but I think it was an opening. She had negative attachments on her. Then in Elms Grove, the things that are around there is it's not good. But I hope y'all enjoyed the story. I mean, I just have the memories, brothers and sisters. That's all I got is the memories of the stories that I share with you because I remember what happened, how it happened, without even thinking about it. It's just natural. Uh, and I have several more, but I can save those for another day. Uh, I know who's the night owls here, who's going to be up. You want me to share one more? I can share another one with you so y'all can see what I'm talking about. So some of this unseen spiritual experiences that I've had has to do with a balance of the matter of life and death. I can share another one if you like. We got 32 viewers here. Hit the like button or give me a thumbs up, and I'll share another one with you. Happening on the same location in Elms Grove. Okay. There was this young Puerto Rican boy. They would come to my house and play with my nephews. We had a outside basketball court, and they would come play basketball there all the time. He was already like 16 years old. My nephews were like 11, 12, and 13. They were young. These other kids are already teenagers. It was a he was a Puerto Rican boy. I knew his younger brother, and I knew his mother. His mother was a E7 sergeant first class in the army, and they lived right there by the swimming pool. So every time summer came, we would no, there was we'll be playing with them because they come to the pool. My son was small. Junior was like maybe, oh man, he was small. He was like 3 years old. So uh, they said that my neighbor was telling me that he was having problems. They're worried about him, and I said, "What's going on?" I want to go talk to this boy, and he said that he was willing and dealing. That he was, I guess, selling drugs for some people from Austin, and that he they had a party, and at the party where there was a lot of people, that the money that they had wound up missing. The money they were supposed to pay off the people that they were dealing with, or something like that, and he needed money. And I told him, well, I can help you with no money because I don't got no money. I said, do you want me to talk to these individuals? He said, no, no, you can't. You can't talk for me. It's something that I have to go through. I have to deal with it. Blah blah blah. I said, you want to? I can try to talk to them and see what I can work with them or whatever. I mean, you're a kid. I can talk to them, see what they say. I said, no, I'm going to have to handle it. They told me if I don't uh, pay them the money, that they're going to come after my family, my mother and my brother. So it stayed that like that, right? 2, 3 weeks passed by from the time that I spoke to him. And then one day I'm at the pool. But this time, since y'all know, at that time I was on the Fentoin. And the Fentoin, I can't be out in the sun too much. But my son was swimming in the water. And I was sitting by the recliners. And by the pool, there's a camera where they're recording everything. So I'm sitting there and I hear the gate open, and it's the boy and two other guys with him, a African American and a white guy. They come and they stand right in front of me. So it's one on each side of the Puerto Rican boy. The Puerto Rican boy looks at me, and this is what he tells me. I'm sitting there. I guess I'm like 4 years out of the military by that time. He looks at me, and he looks at me and he says, "You know," this is what he told me. He said, "You know, I can kill you right now. There's nothing that anybody can do about it." And I was like, in my mind at that time, the other incident had it happened. This is before. So I look at the boy and I say, me military wise, my instincts want to kick in, but they can't kick in because I'm so heavily medicated. So I look at him and I say, why would you say that to me? I'm your friend. And then he's laughing and he's looking at the guys, and those guys have like certain smiles on their face. And he looks at me again and he says, I can kill you right now. There's nothing that anybody can do about it. And they're all laughing in front of me. Then I look at him and I use love, right? I say, why would you say that to me? I mean, I'm your friend. You come play at my house basketball. You've been coming to my house playing basketball. I know your mother. I know your brother. We cool, ain't we? And then he's like, looks at the guys and he said, let's get out of here. And I walk out the gate. I had, for that week, he was drawing around a black truck, like a lowrider truck. And I said to myself, well, maybe he corrected the problem with those people that he owed money to or something. Well, the following day, I mean, a couple of days later, they busted him. The cops took him in because the truck that he was driving belonged to a couple that were killed and burned. Those the other guys they confessed about it. They said they were fearing for their lives, but it didn't seem like to me they were fearing for their lives when they were around him when he was telling me he was going to kill me, that he could kill me. Then, like right there nearby Elms Grove in an open space near the airport, he had killed two strippers and buried their bodies out there. Those guys that were with him buried the bodies out there. So he had killed a total of four people when he was telling me already that he already killed them. He was telling me that he could kill me. There's nothing that nobody can do about it. He already killed four people. So you could say I had a serial killer in front of me. The reason he killed those four people, remember I told you that he owed money? That's what he had to do to pay the debt of what he owed. He had to take out four people. This guy, they gave him 75 years life. I don't think he had 75 years. You had to do him day per day. So he's still in prison by now if he's still alive. I don't think he had the death penalty, but yeah, he killed four people. Let me catch up to the comments, y'all. I think I backed that up too far back here. Yeah, I try to help the kid. I guess they told him take out the person. They probably told him to come take me out since he told me what was going on, so I would have been able to place everything together. But the Heavenly Father was protecting me. Thank God that He was there because I was there. My son was in the pool. Anything could have happened. I just thank God. Now I'm attending my love foundation, and because I could have handled it a whole different way. Just at that time, I was so heavily medicated that I couldn't react to anything. But I'm off those medications that had me heavy. That it had me in the daze. You know. Yeah, and then later on, like from that in time frame, like 10 years later, it's when I met that man that I meet in the street that tells me the same thing that guy tell me. Next time I see you, I'm gonna kill you. There was another person in my life that's done said that to me, but that's a whole different story. That said that to me when I was 11 years old. Telling you this, these demons, they move around, with people with spiritual openings. So you might hear the same saying numerous times throughout your lifetime. So if you're hearing the same saying, it's just the Heavenly Father working, it's because those things have to identify themselves. So it's letting you know it's the same unclean spirit that's in front of you because it's saying the same thing as said before. So you tie, bind, and rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name. Take authority over it and tell it to leave you alone, that is not welcome. You're welcome, dear healer. Yeah, I try to help out that kid, but a lot of people think that's an easy way, but there's always a price to pay when it comes to that kind of lifestyle. Let me read some of the comments here. You could be anywhere, and these things are going to surface up because they're working 24/7. Uh, I remember one time I was at the club. Well, it was a dance where it was a band that came, and I'm going to get a beer for my wife because I don't drink. You know, I don't drink beer or liquor. Uh, the only thing I drink is water. So I'm going to go buy her beer. I go buy the beer and I come back and there's this guy there and he's looking at me and he looks freaked out from the face and he looks at me and says, "This is what he says to me: Feed me." And I look at him and I said, "What'd you say?" And it's somebody that I know. He looked at me again. He said, "Feed me." So he told me to feed him like 3 times. I said, "What does it mean, feed me? Is he hungry or it was a beer? Does he want drugs? What is it?" Because I don't got none of that to offer him. So I ignore him. I go back, sit down. Then as I go to the restroom, he goes into the restroom and he looks at me again and he tells me, "Feed me." He keeps on saying, "Feed me," all throughout the night to me. That's the only thing that he's saying is "feed me." I don't know if it's some kind of term they use in the streets or what, but that's all he's saying to me. So I said, okay, I'm gonna ignore him and I'm gonna go dance. So I told my wife what was going on, and she heard him to say, telling me, feed me, feed me. That's all he's repeating himself, and all he's saying is, "Feed me, feed me." So as I go to the dance and I take like three slides on the dance floor, I see something come through the door, stand at the edge of the dance floor, and he's standing there looking at me, and it's all black, and I have my pendant around my neck. So as he's looking at me, I go like this, I look at it, then he just takes off through the door. Uh, I believe the thing that was telling him, that was saying "feed me," was that spirit. I believe there are like succubus, incubus, that their energy, or like energy vampires. That's why it was saying "feed me." Energy vampires, that they feed off our spirit, or should I say, our spiritual energy. It was a guy saying that, but it was the thing that was within the person that was saying "feed me." Well, like an energy vampire, you know, succubus, incubus, demons. That's what they are. That's what they do. They drain the energy out of people. He was telling me feed me, but I wasn't giving it no spiritual openings to feed. No, I was drinking H2O. I'm not living in sin. I'm washing my Q's and P's. I'm not angry. Have a love foundation. But it's, like I said, it's got to identify itself. So the only identification it gave me was feed me. It's telling me there's something in them. It's trying to get me to try to drain my energy some kind of way or another. But yeah, like a energy vampire, I would say. Well, not vampire. That's a name that people. It's more of a succubus, incubus, or a unclean spirit that they absorb the energy. Succubus. That's what the succubus, incubus are, or like a what should I call them? Uh, Not vampires because they don't got fangs. They just drain your energy. So they need their energy in order for them to continue to keep on going. They drain spiritual energy of children, of the elderly, of any chance they get, they'll try to drain your energy. They can come and touch you and drain your energy, or pass through you and drain your energy. And I'll share the thing of my brother. That's a prime example of that. Let me get the picture of an energy energy vampire or succubus. Let me see. Let me get to that again. I think I have a picture of that. Let me see if it shows it. There you go. There she is. Energy vampire succubus. The succubus. There she is. Got the mouth open, the eyes looking right at him, trying to drain his energy. It's working around his neck area, the neck area, where all the senses are. For the sight, the ears, the mouth. It's working them there. Neck area and all the senses is targeting that. That's why it's right in front of them in that nature. Y'all can see her. She's right here, or it's right here. Whatever the energy, the succubus is right here in front of them. Look at the all the mist around her, like smoke, right? No, I'm saying this what some people call them, deer healer, but they're not actual vampires. But they drain energy. They drain energy. Your spiritual energy. Okay. In saying that, brothers and sisters, I'm going to call it a night here from Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. We're almost at the 3 hour marker. I hope you enjoyed tonight's live. Um, See what we do tomorrow. I've been monitoring my cameras to see if I see any unusual activity. My rebel, he always guards the front door. Like if somebody's outside, I believe he can sense when there's somebody out there. So I'm gonna keep a close eye on my cameras. If I do capture something, brothers and sisters, I will let you know. Just like I showed you. Uh, I don't think I showed the one of me. I don't, yes, I did. The one that was in front of me, I did share that one also. Uh, not that I know of, dear healer. The blood fang vampires. I don't know. I hear something like towards California dealing with something like that, but I'm not for sure because I've never encountered one with fangs. Uh, I mean, I'm not going to say that the DDNK manifesto looked like something like that, but not that I know of. I know there's people that are gothic that pretend they're vampires. They put on fake fangs and drink blood, or they cut themselves and they drink the blood of the person that they're with. You know, and they drink blood that way, not through fangs, but through cutting each other, right? And they lick the blood, drink the blood, and they consider themselves vampires because they're tasting other people's blood, but doesn't mean that they're vampires, right? I mean, they can add that to the genders, you know. Okay, you want to be a vampire? Okay, go ahead. You can consider yourself a vampire. You can dress like a vampire every day. Anderson says the original vampire is Draco Reptilian, who is a symbiotic demon. The expression drink blood and also gets addicted to the blood, like the elite who are accused of these things. Like I said, I haven't seen a. I mean, I did have an incident, which I believe with other something like that in Nosferatu in Germany. But maybe we can share that story for when we talk about vampires. I had an experience of something following me in Germany, but I didn't get close enough to see if it had fangs. But I know what it wore. It was wearing those old outfits like Times of Jack the Ripper with a top hat and the black suit with a cape, and it was following me. I was coming from the club. I seen this individual following me. So I said, okay, I'm going to take a different route to see if it's going to follow me. And every turn I took, it took, and it was moving fast, catching up on me. I said, okay, I'm gonna wait for it here. When it comes around the corner, I'm going to get it. So as I'm waiting there for it to come around the corner, he didn't come out in that corner. He came out on the other block, and it just looks at me like he knew I did that. He looks at me. He takes off the top hat and goes like this, puts it on, turns around. He had a cane and walks away. It's like he knew that I was waiting for him, so he came out on the opposite street and it went a different direction. So many things, but you got to remember one thing, brothers and sisters. Can't give it the belief factor because that's what this DDN, this unseen forces used to come up against us. I know I've been feeling something in my ears, some ringing. So let's pray. Heavenly Father, I would like to pray. If there's any negative energies, unclean spirits, or any witchcraft and necromancy happening at this time, we tie, bind, and rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name. We don't accept it here. Your spiritual encrypted encounters to affect me, any of the members, any of my family. If there's anything here, you're not welcome here. We tie, bind, and rebuke in Jesus Christ's name. Leave my household, leave my vessel. We're placing heavenly spiritual crosses on the doorways and windows, on me, and on all my family members from head to toe. Again, we take authority over you. We tie, bind, and rebuke in Jesus Christ's name. Leave. You're not welcome here. This I pray in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Uh, those, Mr. Anderson, to me, they're the DDN. I seen one that was in the form of a human, and his skin changed color because I broke. They do not like a love foundation. Uh, it lost his manifestation of a man, and I've shared their story with y'all. That'll be another one we can talk about, uh, reptilians and vampires and stuff like that. Maybe I'll share it for another time. We hit the 3 hour marker. I don't know if they're blood drinkers, Mr. Anderson. I mean, just because you cut yourself and you drink somebody's blood doesn't make you a vampire. Just because you get stick somebody with an IV and get blood and put it in a little thing and drink the blood out of it doesn't make you a vampire. You're still a human being with issues, right? And the issue is you think you're a vampire. That's all I'm saying. People that think they're vampires, but they really are not. They cannot shapeshift, turn into a little bat. I mean, it's crazy, but there is people that do that. Been doing it for a long time. The Gothic people been doing that for a long time. Yeah, they're all demonic in nature, but Mr. Anderson, that's what I try to tell you here on spiritual encrypted encounters. That's what they are. Test the spirit, test the manifestation, put it through the spiritual test. Tie, bind, and rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name and see what happens. And you're going to see results. In saying that, good night, everybody. God bless you. And everybody have a beautiful, blessed morning. Signing off. And tune in tomorrow to Werewolf Wednesday. Thank you, moderators, for doing an awesome job. And thank you to all that tuned in. Peace out.